The United Nations, the UN, has unveiled a permanent memorial to the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade, which they acknowledge was one of the most horrific tragedies in modern history. The unveiling was done on Wednesday at the World Body New York headquarters. Speaking at the unveiling ceremony, Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, said, quote, "The memorial helps us to acknowledge the collective tragedy that befell millions of people. It encourages us to consider the historical legacy of slavery, and above all, it ensures that we never forget," end quote. Mr. Ban pointed to the UN's educational work teaching students about the transatlantic slave trade through the Remember Slavery program and ensuring they appreciate how intolerance and racism can easily breed acts of hatred and violence. He expressed hope that descendants of the transatlantic slave trade will feel empowered as they remember those who overcame this brutal system and pass their rich cultural heritage from Africa onto their children. This year's theme of the annual International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade is Women and Slavery. Meanwhile, Jamaica's Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller was also present at the unveiling of the monument.
It was on March 25, 1807, that one European nation, Britain, passed a law to ban the forced relocation of our ancestors. Slavery continued for much longer. So for us, freedom came after a long journey. Freedom was not gifted to us, but was rather earned by the sweat, blood, and tears of millions of our forebears, on whose backs the economic foundations of the New World were built. Our people were strengthened by the hope of freedom and emboldened by the certainty of the inalienable right of every man, woman, and child to a life of dignity and equality.